Welcome back to the Dawn of the Zeds 2nd edition playthrough. We're about to begin turn 20, and let's find out what's going to happen this time. Oh, it's another lovely card. It says we're going to need a bigger gun. Well, guess what? We already have the bigger gun, so this is excellent. Now we're on to the Raiders, which we still don't have. Rangers, we do have. Now I'm actually going to move the Rangers. No, I'm not going to move them. I'm just going to leave them there, in fact. And refugees, we don't have. So now is something unpleasant. We have an outbreak on an 8+. And if we look over here at our infection level, we're at 10. So we do have an outbreak. And with an outbreak, we have to first go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 5 infection level. And the next thing we do in an outbreak is we have to figure out where the outbreak happens. But we have Special Agent Wright in the town center, so she gets to decide where the outbreak's going to happen anyway. And we look at the fate card to find that out. And it says where the Zeds are strongest. Well, that gets written over. We're going to put them where we want. And the fate card itself says we're going with another plan. That doesn't sound fantastic. I am actually going to have the outbreak occur. I've been thinking about this a little bit. I'm going to have it occur down in the tunnels. That may seem a little bit crazy, but I think that's where I'm going to have it. I've just pulled a random... Oh man. We have the strongest regular Zed in the game, a 9. And it will appear at the Chaos marker, which is down on the Chronotechnics lab site. So, wow. Okay, and we have to finish off. The rest of this card is we're going with another plan. And what it says is play this card. So we're going to play it now. It says roll a d6 for each refugee unit currently in the refugee camp. Well, in fact, we do have one refugee sitting in a refugee camp and a whole pile of civilians in the hospital. But we're going to roll a d6 and we're going to consult the card and we're going to see what we need to do. So here we go. And that's a 2. I don't know if that's good or bad. On a 2, it says on a 1 or 2, refugees remain, no effect. So they just stay there in the refugee camp and cause us no further benefits or pain. All right. Back to the card. So that was our outbreak. Consume supplies on a 6+. Well, that's pretty funny because just about every one of our civilians is in the hospital except for 2, 3. And next we have Zed movement. It is going to be in the forest track and in the tunnels. So up here in the forest track, we have our weak little weakened 3 strength Zed units now encountering the Rangers. So that is going to increase our infection level 1 to 6 for the hand-to-hand combat. The Rangers are strength 5, so the actual Zeds are less than. And whenever the Ranger units are attacked, they get a 1 shift to the left. So we're going to be looking at the 1/2 table. So let's see what we get here for the Rangers. And that's an 8. That's not fantastic for us, but let's look over here. On the 1/2 table, if you roll an 8, it means the attackers take 2 hits and retreat, and the defenders take 1 hit. So the Rangers actually get their first casualty on them, and the Zeds must retreat backwards, and they take 2 hits, so they're almost destroyed. They only have 1 hit left. That was the forest track movement. Now we're into the tunnel track movement. And in the tunnel track, we have the very weakened Zed units. Now there are not 2 fewer Zed units on the highway track. There's 1, and there are 2 in the tunnel track. So this one is not going to jump tracks and move. It is now going to move into the catacombs, and the very strong 9 Zed unit is going to move 1 space over here in the tunnel track. Okay, and now we get to the special text at the bottom of we're going to need a bigger gun, which we have. It says at the end of the action phase. Well, that is not now, because now it is the action phase, and I actually get 4 actions. And the first of the 4 actions is I am going to move the Green Diamond security guards with Dr. Mertus in shackles 2 spaces towards the town center. That's movement number 1. Movement number 2 is I'm going to have the sheriff. He's going to move. Actually, he's going to tell the civilians to scavenge first, to forage. And as usual, they ignore him. So as for my second movement, the sheriff's going to move 1, 2, 3 down to the bridge space. And for the third action, the sheriff is going to shoot at the 7th strength Zed unit. And so to shoot, we're going to go down 1 ammunition, and we're going to see what he gets. And that's a 5 on the 6 table because he's using the super weapon. And that's 2 damage, which is enough to flip these units over. And because they're using a super weapon, they must retreat. So now they're strength 5 and they move 2 down the track. And that was our third action. Our fourth action, I'm actually going to have the doc move 1, 2, 3 up here. No, I'm not. The doc's going to stay there. I'm going to put Pickles now 1, 2, 3 movements down to the security guard post to try and scavenge for some more ammunition later because we're getting a bit low. And the last thing we need to do is we're going to be putting a Super Zed unit on the map, and it is the Brutes, I think they're called. What are they called here? They are called the Dread Zeds. And they're going to appear in the start space because Dr. Mertus is actually under arrest. So we find the great big bruiser unit. They're a 10 strength, and they're going to be at the start space of the tunnel track. And I do believe that ends turn 20. So join me next time for turn 21.